Hope y'all feeling good today. I just got back from the gym. I rushed back. I cut my workout short. I was on the phone with my homeboy, and I said, "Oh shoot, I gotta hurry up. I got a live video tonight." But I was like, I still gotta go in here because I'm sitting in the parking lot. So did my shoulders real fast, my biceps. Now we're gonna get started. All right. Um, I want to get started now so that this isn't a long video. Sometimes my videos are too long because the first couple minutes I was stalling, and I don't want to have to edit it. So I want to get started, and hopefully anybody who doesn't catch this is able to come back and watch this on the replay. And hopefully some of the things that I'm about to go through are able to help you and resonate with you in your everyday life. Because of course I've been through all of this stuff myself twice. I'm an old man at this point, but hopefully you guys can learn something. Okay. So today's video is about tips for taking time off. All right. Everybody has to take time off at some point. Sometimes your time off is a long duration, sometimes it's a short duration. But ultimately, though, we all have life experiences that require us to, take a second and maybe put the gym or working out or whatever your physical activity is on the back burner for a second. Maybe you just can't be that person that you were normally and you've fallen off. Sometimes traveling, you start traveling a little bit, or the summertime is coming up. School, I've been there too. College, like, you know what I mean? You don't have time to do it. You got to squeeze it in, or you work a weird schedule at your job. So it's shifty getting in there and stuff like that, getting into the gym and working out. Sometimes though, sometimes you've been very consistent and you've been working out for a long period of time and you haven't taken a break. And in yourself, like, I probably need to take a second because I've been going hard for 6 months straight or 8 months straight and haven't even taken a moment to just breathe. And you can get caught up in that. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever really tapped into that, but sometimes you can be going so hard and be so tunnel vision in your goal that you probably need a break and nobody's telling you that you need a break. So there's different reasons for needing a break. And we're going to go through some of these things and just address how you can keep certain things in mind, to keep tips for them, so that way you don't, overwhelm yourself or end up being out of the gym for too long or something like that. Okay. So the first thing is, you may need time to heal. And what I mean by healing is you may need time to heal physically. You may have some lingering ailments, some pains in your chest, or some pains in your back, or some, ailments that you have that probably require you to take some time off, because what you're doing when you're still working out, trying to go through that pain sometimes, is you could actually be injuring yourself more. And like with spinal issues, I know a lot of times I've trained people that had back problems and stuff like that. And I know your physical therapist or, even some trainers, they'll say, okay, well, if you got spine issues, you got issues in your lower back or whatever, you need to still be working your back so that you can keep the muscles around the bone strong. That way they're protecting that bone from being fragile or moving the way it needs to be. So you still want to keep the muscle strong to a degree, right? But sometimes you do things that can end up injuring you more, so you kind of just push through the pain. Like, we all know somebody who probably got problems, you know what I mean, but still working out through them. And I get it. You, my friend, probably need to take some time off, and you gotta understand it's okay to take time off and don't feel guilty about it when you're doing something different for your body still. Sometimes you got to do something to recover your body, and you got to take a step back from doing other things in the gym. And maybe what I mean by taking time off, it doesn't even require you to not go into the gym. Maybe you just take time off from doing certain things. Like, so let's say you have a back problem. You take some time off from working your back in that section, but you work other things around it. I'm not saying you can't go in the gym, but you don't go in there anymore to where you're hurting yourself. You could be potentially hurting yourself more. Okay. Now, the second thing is you want to be able to heal yourself mentally as well before you go into the gym. See, and here's something that I don't know is talked about, and I don't even know if I have the channel for this, because really, like, how do you search for this? You know what I'm saying? But what happens a lot of time when you work out and when you go into the gym, you want to use the gym as your mental escape from reality. You want to go in there and say, okay, well, all this stuff in life is happening, but I'm gonna go in here and put my head down and focus on the workout for the day and focus on doing, what I need to be, and just tunnel vision on what's in here in the gym, the thing that I can control, And when you can do that and you're able to separate life and put gym, the gym in its own set, in its own pocket, that's a good thing, because you got life that's happening to you. But sometimes you can't manage both. Sometimes, like, life is too overwhelming. And you got to get yourself together mentally to be able to even go into the gym, to go through the motion. And I understand that, sometimes you got life things that are going on. Like if I went through the list of the things I got going on, it's probably the same stuff that y'all got going on. You know what I mean? Like baby mama drama, bills, taxes, X, Y, like it's the same stuff. You know what I mean? Like you got all of the same stuff that's the issue. You know what I mean? And so when you have those things going on, it might derail you from working out. It might take you from, from being distracted from doing what you really need to do. And you need to finish those items first before you can go back into the gym, or, you might have body issues, health issues. I've been through it all. You know what I mean? So been through it, got over them. You know what I mean? So I'm not in all of that same stuff still, but I've been there. I know what it feels like to be in those situations. So sometimes you gotta decide to take a step back from the gym, and don't feel guilty if you need to. It's okay. Like you're not doing anything wrong. So if you got to fix your mental health, you got to get your brain together. If you need to really get right, don't feel bad. Take a step back from working out. And then once you get your life together, you can get things more organized to where it's manageable, then go back into the gym. And don't feel guilty about taking time off mentally if you need to. Okay. So, or for your mental reasons. All right. Now, the third thing or the second thing is people like to take time off because they don't see initial results. And I don't think that's fair. A lot of times you're going to the gym and you'll say, okay, well, I'm going to do this for X, Y, and Z amount of time. And you don't get the results that you were looking for. And so you kind of like, it's not like you really got discouraged, but you kind of checked out a little bit because you're not seeing the same things that you would like to see. You're not seeing what you hope would happen. And so you end up taking time off from the gym, and you just, 1 week turns into 2 weeks, 2 weeks turns into 3 weeks. You're still paying for your gym membership, or you used to go walking every day and now you just don't, or you used to go do this all the time and now you just don't. And when you do that because you weren't seeing the results that you were looking for, that's a problem. You know what I mean? Because really you got to remember to make this a lifestyle adjustment. It's a lifestyle that you're looking for. It's something that you're looking to make as part of your routine. It's not something that you're just wanting to do so that you can get quick results and make changes and say, okay, now I got my body now I can go outside and show the world this great physique and then see what happens. It's not like that. Now, which leads me to my third point, is that if you stop your workout program because you've gotten in shape, let's say you have gotten in shape and now you're taking some time off because you met your goals, and let's say you spent all year, or you worked out on this program, you had this person with you, or you were guided, and you stuck to a program, and now you take some time off because maybe you want to go on a cruise, or you going out for the summer, y'all traveling or whatever. If you balloon right back to what you look like prior to your workouts, your program wasn't that good. Now, I know, people want to have exercise programs that can last them. Like, you want to get in shape to look good. You want to get in shape, but you got to stay in shape too. Like, that's the key. Like, the key is how come you did your workout and you worked out with this person, and when you follow their plan, you only look good for the duration of that plan. How come when the plan is over, now you look like nothing happened in the first place? That's a problem. So keep that in mind too. When you're putting your workout plan together, is it something that's sustainable? Is it something that you can manage? Or are you getting in shape and going so hard that by the time y'all are done and you finish with that program, you look up and you're like, I don't know what happened. How do I maintain this? I was going super hard. Now I'm burnt out. I can't maintain this. I need to take some time off. I need to take a break. And then you take a break and you never get back to doing that crazy, hardcore program again because it was so intense. And that you're going to dread going back and starting that thing again. Whereas before, when you started it was just a journey. Now you're trying to go back and do it again. And it's like, I know how hard that was. And I know how hard it felt this day. And I know I couldn't eat this. And I know X, Y, Z. So you don't think about the end results because it was, it was too hard to manage. And so keep that in mind. That workout program needs to be adjusted so that it's sustainable. Figure out a way where you can maintain that. Not saying that it's trash. Maybe it was a good plan because, of course, it got you results. But you got to figure out some way to be able to maintain those things that kept that balance in your physique, so that even if you do take some time off from those workouts, you're still able to maintain some type of respectable body and not just bounce right back to like, what happened to you? And that's what's crazy is, I know it sounds funny, but a lot of times, like, I'll be on Instagram and I know, like, I don't know these guys, but I've seen people, who do things in the gym, and I've seen dudes who work out and they'll get out of shape. And it's like, man, I knew when you was like X, Y, Z, like you used to look great. And it's like, yeah, well, I fell off or X, Y, I took some time off or this happened and then I didn't come back around. Like, I get it. Like, but dang, like you fell off like that. You know what I mean? So try not to fall off too hard if you can help it. That's wild. All right, and then the last thing I want to say is, if you can, two things to remember. Okay, here's the two things that I'll tell you. Try not to go longer than 2 weeks without being in the gym. All right, 2 weeks is the max, because like even if you're injured, even if you have something going on, you need to take time off mentally or whatever. 2 weeks should be your max, because what's going to happen is you're going to break a habit, and you don't want to break a habit. And when I'm saying like, okay, maybe you can't, maybe you need to take some time to yourself to not work out. Maybe life happened, whatever. But you got to get in there, even if you got an injury or whatever. Like if you can physically do it, still do your exercises, still do your workout program, still would do what you can, even if it's in the house. Still do those things, because you don't want to break the habit of even exercising. Because listen, when I tell you, just getting started is the hardest part. Like people, listen, people who just got to get started, when you know you got to get started to do something, it's like having a chore. Like I got to wash my dishes. I don't feel like doing the dishes. You know what I mean? Like you're going to feel like that. So it's the same thing when it comes to working out. Like you're not going to feel like it. But if you're in the habit of doing it and you took some time off, but you spacing it out, even if you're doing something like I only go once a week, but you're in your break period, but you're only going once a week, like that's fine. Like we'll take that too. But you don't want to be a newbie walking back in there and then you got to start with all the beginner stuff again. You got to start from scratch, and scratch is all the way back there. And you got to be like, okay, well, what do I do first? And what's this? And how do I start eating again? Like, we don't want to get back into that again. Try not to be that guy. And so 2 weeks, 3 weeks will turn you into that guy a lot of times. 2 weeks, that's okay. That's fair. Like, we understand you had life circumstances, but now, at least stay in there. That way you can gradually rebuild yourself into getting back into that environment, into that vibe where you want to be working out all the time. But you got to be very careful with your break periods, because if you take off too long, it's real hard to get back in there. Okay. So I hope you guys learned something. That's all I got for that topic today. Joe, what's up? I see you in the comments. You said, "Are athletic green juice powders worth it? What's your take?" Hey, you know what? I'm gonna put up a poll in this, but hopefully, if you guys are watching, so something's been happening with me lately on my channel. Like the more I make videos, and if I make videos on Instagram and stuff, post on Instagram, like supplement companies to reach out to me. They'll ask me like, hey, do you want to review this product? Do you want to do these products? Do you want to look at this? And I'm not a big supplement person. I'm not a big like take this juice cleanse, take this cleanse, take these pills. Like I take a little bit of stuff for myself, because I know physically what I like for my body. And like if I was to talk to you and keep it funky with you, like I'll be like, okay, take this, take that. But a lot of times, like companies reach out. Somebody reached out to me last week, asking me to do something that was like a reputable company, I guess, but they asked me to review something that I don't want to come on here and be like, hey guys, guess what happened? I took this today, and then that's not my style. But if y'all know stuff that you think is something that I probably should tap into, feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll review it and I'll start getting into things. But if you guys know some supplements or different things, leave them in the chat, because somebody else in the comments may be more familiar with those things than I am, and I don't want to give bad information. As far as like whatever you're trying to do with your your juicing and powders and stuff like that, like I'm not into that type of stuff. Y'all know me. Eat your food. You know what I mean? Like you got to eat your food so that you can digest it. I'm not into drinking foods. I'm not into taking protein powders. Remember, protein powders, you can take that stuff, but then sometimes the protein powders, if your kidneys aren't that great, and you don't know if your kidneys are that great until you start doing the junk. So you can go find out if you want to. But if those protein powders harden back up inside your kidneys and they don't digest properly, then you might start having kidney problems or digestive problems and stuff. And so it's just not real food. You know what I mean? It's processed to a fine powder. Same thing like with with any of that stuff. Like it's just you got to drink a lot of water to flush it back out of your system. Even with creatine, like you take that stuff, but you got to drink twice the amount of water that they even tell you to drink on there, or else it can affect you in a negative way. So when you start putting that stuff in your body, you got to be careful. But if you got it from the grocery store, it's a lot less likely that you got to care about all of that stuff too. But again, we'll see. All right. YSS, you said good timing. You injured your wrist trying to lower your body in cardio. Trying to do lower body in cardio. What do I suggest? Yeah, that's exactly what I suggest. If you injured your wrist, y'all remember when I tore my bicep, I didn't stop working out. I took off for about a week or two just so I can get my mind together. I was mad. I was hurting. I was like, man, my body's never gonna look the same again. Like I got a weird looking arm. Like this bicep is shorter than this one. You know what I mean? Like, so things happen. I got the scars still. The knot is still there, but it just don't peak the same. You know what I mean? So I lost a lot of weight. You got to take off. Like, I get it. You know, Pops, what's going on? I'm here. Hey, and guess what? I don't have to get my gallbladder removed. So that's wonderful. I'm meant to tell you that. Yeah, so try just doing lower body. Like when I had injured my bicep, all I did was just legs. I did legs and I did a lot of back, you know. And so if you can find exercises where you don't need to use that muscle group, you know, that wrist or whatever, do that. Like when I did back, I did a lot of pullovers, you know, the pullover machine where you don't have to use your hands, but you can stick your elbows in there and you can just kind of pull over like that. That's a lot of back stuff. Same thing with chest. Like if you're doing pec flies, you don't really need your wrist if you find the one that has the pad and you're doing your flies this way, or even doing like reverse rear delt flies. Like those are good exercises to do. Leg work is great too. You can always do ab stuff. You know, the seated lower back machine, those things are great as well. You know, like everything's still available, even your shoulders. Like what I used to do for my shoulders, because I didn't want to lose them. Y'all know the machine where you sit in there and there's the two pads that go over your arm and you got to just, like, you don't need your wrist for that either. So if you find a gym that has machines where you don't have to use, you know, your wrist or that L body part, try it. And don't avoid going to the gym just because you can't, because you hurt one thing. Like, still go in there, you know what I mean? So keep that in mind. All right, I hope y'all learned something today. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat and I'll try to address them in the next video. And I appreciate everybody for subscribing to my channel. I'll see you guys next week, same time. Thanks for watching.